After a nice, relaxing week vacationing at the beautiful Granite Falls National Park, the Borger family partook in one last family meal before setting out for home. Home held special importance in Greg's heart, for having been raised by his single mom in rather austere conditions. Greg was proud to provide for his family in a way that his mom could only dream of. While Greg was excited to return home, his wife and daughters could have stayed for another week or more, drinking in their beautiful surroundings and soaking up more of the delicious sun. However, they too realized that all good things must come to an end. As the sun hung high in the sky overhead, the family made the 4-hour drive back to their home. Finally, the family returned to their familiar neighborhood. Greg was the first to ascend the front stairs, followed by his wife and daughters. But, as he approached the front door, and to the surprise of the whole family, the door suddenly swung open and 2 men came forth. The thinner of the 2 men haughtily announced that him and his friend now lived in this house, and the Borger family were trespassing. He declared that if the family didn't leave, he would call the police and they would all be arrested. Blood boiled and coursed through Greg's veins as the initial shock began to wear off. Angered by the audacity of these 2 to steal his home, Greg shoved the burglar. His wife intervened, and insisted they leave and call the police. Realizing that his daughters were watching, Greg soon backed down. He quickly turned around and ushered his family away from the house as the 2 burglars looked on smugly. At Greg's mom's house, the girls quietly watched TV in the living room while their father regaled his mother of the horrifying tale in the kitchen.
I can't believe it. They can't just push in and steal someone's house.
Well, I called the police and I'm sure they'll take care of those guys for us.
Some time later there was a knock at the door. Greg answered it and stepped out onto the porch away from the ears of his daughters.
Were you the one who called us about some burglars?
Yes, and I assume they've been arrested and we can go home now?
Well, no.
No?
Yes, well it appears they have a signed lease, dating back 4 months ago.
No.
Well, it means they have a legal right to be there and we can't kick them out.
But this is such crap. They don't live there. I do. My family does.
Not according to their rental lease.
This is such crap. They can't be allowed to get away with this.
I'm sorry, but our hands are tied. I would recommend that you go down to the courthouse and file for an eviction. That's the only way you can get your house back.
How long will that take?
I don't know how long the process is, but I do know that they will need 30 days to vacate.
30 days.
I'm very sorry about all this, but my hands are tied here. Good luck to you and your family.
Yeah, thanks.
Greg replied as he slunk back into his mom's house to tell his family the news. The Borgers were able to find a cheap hotel to stay at while they figured all this out. Greg took the following day off from work to navigate the court system. After much research and several phone calls, Greg was able to file an eviction request and paid a fee to have the local county sheriff's department deliver the notice. It would be a long 30 days of waiting in their small hotel room. Greg and Emily worried about their finances as they spent a lot of money on their family vacation. Though the hotel room was relatively cheap, it still cost them a lot of money. They tried not to worry about whether the burglars would refuse to leave, but it was a possibility. Finally, the day came for the burglars to get out the Borgers' home. For safety, Greg had called the police and asked them to go over and check to make sure the burglars were gone. Waiting for that phone call from the police was agonizing, for the family so much wanted to return home. Greg's phone finally rang, and he jumped up to answer it. But as the phone call progressed, Greg slowly sank back into his chair. His heart began to pound and a lump formed in his throat. Emily tried to reassure him, telling him that they would keep trying and everything would be okay. But everything was not okay. The police were calling to inform them that shortly before the burglars left, they set the Borgers' home ablaze. The fire department had tried to save the home, but there was nothing left. The Borgers had lost everything.